Thank you so much. It almost seems unreal to stand here, almost exactly after 1 year since our wonderful journey began. I am Madhura DasGupta Sinha, founder and CEO of Aspire for Her. At Aspire for Her, we are adding 1 million women to the workforce by 2025. Let me start with the journey that started just about a year ago. When the US consulate talked to us about setting up a women on boards cohort, we just didn't want to do that. We wanted to have a community of women leaders who cheer for each other, who motivate each other, who elevate each other. And today, I'm so happy to see that many of our leaders from the first cohort have taken the time out of their busy schedules, have flown into Mumbai just to be part of this event. You know who you are, so thank you very much for making the effort to our wonderful mentors. So, what were we trying to do if we were not just trying to get women into boardrooms? We were trying to build a village which supports each other, a community which collaborates with each other, and who ensure that they open doors for women in rooms that they have never been into. And let me share a little bit about what's been happening to the first cohort. You saw some numbers and some statistics. And there were a bunch of people who graduated in this very room, seems like a few months ago. Well, two of them, Jaya Janardhanan and Jamuna Ravi, went on to quickly getting onto board positions. Can I have a round of applause for them? Many of them got themselves certified through IICA and became certified board members and are waiting to get into board positions. Many of them got awards, distinctions, achievements, and we cheered for them as we saw them authoring books, we saw them getting awarded, we saw them getting distinctive awards in various walks of life. Purnima Shenoy, one of our mentors at Aspire for Her, who was very closely associated with the program, went on to take on a leadership position at FICCI, and today she is partnering for Indo-US Trade Partnership from Washington, D.C. We had two leaders who came forward and started doing something amazing at Aspire for Her, like all our mentors do. We had Radha Ramadurai, who came forward to build our women in banking community at Aspire for Her. Radha is right here in this room. Thank you. We had Simran Jindal, who had actually traveled all the way from Sweden for her last cohort graduation, started something called She Knows Money, and this is all about financial literacy at Aspire for Her. Simran is also a part of IBM, and today we're very thrilled to have our partners IBM represented by none other than Mr. Sandeep Patel, who is in this room. But this was not all. I think what we truly created was a bond of friendship, of camaraderie, and something much deeper than just a mere networking relationship. I think that is what the first cohort created. And they're in fact very jealous of the fact that they're now not going to be the only cohort of women on boards at Aspire for Her. They are going to be now the alumnus. And this is my pride and privilege to actually announce the Women on Board's second edition right here in front of you. We did a soft launch of this program on November 3rd. And today we are celebrating, of course, physically, because we wanted all of you to see what a wonderful place Dosti House is, and of course, with the amazing partners, US Consulate and our foundation. The next important date to keep in mind, and these are all very tactical announcements now, is December 11th, which is the last day of putting in our application if you do want to be part of the program. December 20th is another important date because that's when the announcements will be made. I know some of you will ask us who is going to evaluate the applications and how is the cohort going to be selected. So let me do that. It's going to be evaluated by a set of independent jury, some of whom are sitting over here, but I shall not tell you who they are. And we are going to be evaluating them for diversity. We are going to be evaluating them for performance, and all of their journeys that they have been on. But we are going to be evaluating them with a bias. And that bias will be for women who open doors for other women. Because that's the kind of person that we want in our Women on Board second edition. Nothing changes from our tenets that we had laid down for the first one. So the cohort is going to start on 12th of January, and we are going to end in March 2024. We don't have an exact date as yet, but we will get back to you very soon on the exact date. And there's a little bit of a difference between the first cohort and the second edition. And let me just take a few seconds to tell you about that. Well, the first cohort, as all of you know, had Friday evening sessions almost every Friday, and they were online. And we had the inauguration and the graduation ceremony here in Dosti House itself. Well, the good news is that the second edition will have far more in-person interactions. The Friday sessions will all be online, nothing changes in that, but we have added 2 more in-person interactions, 1 a month here in this wonderful premises of Dosti House, and you will be able to enjoy the company of Mike Hankey, Brenda Soya, their wonderful teams, and you will be able to spend some time with them. And we have some very exciting plans in place, so we'll get back to you on that soon. So that's one. And the second difference will be that we are introducing a whole track of electives this time. Depending on the composition of the cohort, we have in mind to introduce electives which the cohort will appreciate more, so that they can walk into boardrooms with more confidence. One of the electives that we've been thinking around is finance for non-finance executives. And today we have so many doyens of the financial world sitting here, but I do know that many women are sometimes a little overwhelmed by a lot of numbers being thrown at them. So this is one of the tracks that we have in mind, but we do want to have this whole concept of electives which we want to put in here. And the last difference will be that this will be a more immersive experience because last time, as some of you remember, we had a very cool drama kind of an interaction where all the cohort members actually put up dramas and the best people got to perform over here. But this time we want to actually give a little more immersive experience in the impact world, so that if any of you are thinking of sort of delving into the world of impact and into the world of NGOs, non-profits, then we will give you some live experiences in working with them so that you can come and present your impact here. And as always, the best people will actually get, the best group will get a chance to speak here and talk to us at the grand finale here. So that's a little bit about this cohort, and any questions, we are all here. The Aspire for Her team is right here. And I also wanted to mention, one of the impacts of the last cohort, and this is in typical Aspire for Her style, we like to encourage paying it forward. So Bhuvna, who is actually, there she is, Bhuvna, who is actually a graduate of the last cohort, has taken on the mantle of leading this cohort. Thank you, Bhuvna, for that. And not to mention, Bhuvna has also written a book, And some of you, let me keep that a secret, but some of you will get a chance to get a signed copy of the book from Bhuvna. Going forward, let me talk a little bit about the help that we've got in this journey and some of the milestones of this journey in the last 12 months. The Women on Boards cohort has actually just been one part of the wonderful work that we've done with the US Consulate. And, I don't want to say thank you to my friends here at the US Consulate because they have become like family. And you don't say thank you to family. So I'm not going to do that. But I think the way in which we've had Mike, Brenda, Rob, Amrita, Richa, and so many of them support us absolutely beautifully. It's been a privilege and a pleasure. So thank you so much for that. In addition to what we were doing with Women on Boards, Brenda took time out on another Saturday afternoon to speak with us about She Knows Money. Her amazing journey is very, very inspiring. And on October 31st, when we were doing a flagship event with Amazon Web Services, our very, very favorite partners, Gloria Barbena took time out from her busy schedule to actually come in and address our audience in Delhi, in Gurgaon. And it was wonderful because I think for the first and last time in my life, I heard in the same sentence, Aspire for Her and Madhura, along with what was happening in the bigger, broader world, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So I thought that was the high point, of Gloria's address, but which is otherwise also very, very motivating, and our audience loved it. So that's a little bit about the work that we do with the US Consulate, and I just wanted to also say thank you to our foundation, Asima Chaturvedi, who's been the wind beneath our wings. Thank you so much. I wanted to thank all the members, mentors at Aspire for Her, and a lot of the members of the Women on Boards first cohort have gone on to now become mentors at Aspire for Her. So that's how we roll. That's how the community actually builds, and that's how the community keeps elevating each other. So thank you very much to all of you. Thank you for traveling so many of you have traveled down to be here. Thank you so much for doing that. And of course, the wonderful Aspire for Her team, Bhuvna, Ruchita, Hiral, our entire team has put in a lot of effort to lovingly create and curate this program. So, and it's always been wonderful to get the advice and the support of Divya Sampath, Jaya Janardhanan, who are right here in this room. So thank you so much. Well, we're looking for a boardroom in India which will look very different, which will look at some point in time when we will transcend beyond just the regulatory norms of having one woman independent director and want to do bigger things in life, and voices will be heard. That's the day that we are dreaming about. And without all your support, we would not be able to do that. So, Elizabeth, a warm welcome to Aspire for Her. And we couldn't think of anyone better with the kind of experience and the kind of background that you have. Our team is absolutely motivated, inspired to meet you, excited to meet you and ask you questions. Thank you for that. And, there's an Instagram meme which is going around. And, I am desperately trying to, because a lot of our community members are very young, I'm desperately trying to get myself acquainted with what Instagram is sort of dictating. And, I couldn't think of a better line than for us to cheer that board of the future, which is inclusive, which is equal, and which is full of women. And I'm going to say the first 2 lines, and I'm hoping that all of you have been also keeping track of the Instagram trends, and you will say the third line for me. Should I get going? Are you all ready? Yes. I'm looking at the board, which is equal, inclusive. And I'm going to say this. So beautiful, so elegant. Thank you.